Hey everybody, Justin Hawkins here from Hawkins House of Horror, where horror is not a hobby, but a lifestyle. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day today, and I want to thank you for tuning into this video. This is actually my first major video on YouTube. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel about horror and the paranormal realm for quite some time now, and I'm finally doing it, and what a better time. I am just kind of pumped up and amped up because this past weekend, my wife, Cheyenne, for those of you who don't know, my wife is Cheyenne, and we just got back from Dallas for Texas Frightmare, and oh my gosh, what an experience. We've been back for about a week now, and my blood's still pumping from it. Just awesome, best weekend ever. That was kind of, her birthday's in April, my birthday's in June. It was kind of a birthday present to each other, for each other, from each other, for ourselves, to ourselves. You know, it was just kind of a birthday getaway for both of us, because I'll tell you what, first of all, if you haven't seen the Scream franchise, stop the video right now. If you don't want spoilers, because all 5 movies have been out for, a lot of them, for a long time. But Scream 5's been out for, well, Scream 5, Scream 2022, Scream. The new Scream has been out for quite a while now, so everybody should have had a chance to see it. But if you haven't, for some odd reason, like you live under a rock, or you've been in a coma since June, stop the video, go watch that awesome movie. Radio Silence did great. I'm glad. I was worried because you know, Wes Craven, rest in peace, Wes, you were phenomenal. But I'll tell you, Radio Silence, they did a phenomenal job. They really did. And I will tell you, and this is for a whole nother video, but Stu Macher is alive. Matthew Lillard is Stu Macher. He's alive, he's kicking, he's doing fantastic. And not only is he alive, he is running the show. Not only is he alive and running the show, he actually flaunted the Ghostface robe at least once, possibly twice, in the new Scream movie, I believe. That's my belief. Amber did not kill Dewey. That was Stu Macher. Definitely wasn't Amber, and it was Stu. And I will tell you, at Texas Frightmare, it was phenomenal. I'll tell you a little about that first. This is my first video here. I just kind of wanted to say hello, let you guys know my videos. Hopefully, what I want to do is, you know, put platforms here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You know, YouTube kind of being my big thing though. And I'm looking to do horror reviews on movies, you know, all like NECA figures, Mezco, masks, all kinds of stuff, kind of reviews on everything horror, you know, live streaming eventually, all kinds of different stuff, watch parties once it gets up to that, you know. I got a ways to go, but shoot big, right? You got to aim your dreams high, or else you'll never achieve them, because you can achieve anything you want in life. You just got to fucking do it. Get off your ass and go do it, and that's what I'm doing. So I also want to incorporate some of the paranormal realm. We're real big into paranormal investigating. Now I'm still kind of dumb with the technology, so I'm learning how to edit videos and all that kind of stuff. I got to go through all of that. So we're actually going paranormal investigating tonight, but I don't know how much of that I'm actually going to be able to share with you guys, because I'm not very good with the technology. But I'm learning, and that's what matters. And actually here in a couple months, I'm going to inherit some equipment to use, some better equipment that's going to help me kind of learn how to do things a little bit better. So everything, just bear with me, try to support me, and, you know, grow with me, and I promise we will get there. So like I said, this video, I just kind of want to tell you about Texas Frightmare, my new channel. And while I'm at it, we might as well rank the Scream killers, all Ghostface from the Scream franchise. I get asked about this a lot, actually, who my favorite Ghostface are. So we'll get into that. First of all, though, Texas Frightmare was phenomenal. We met so many people. For those of you who don't know who all was there, you got to go look it up, because there is so many people that were there. Brad and Fiona Dorff were both there. We didn't meet Brad face to face, get a photo with him and everything. Fiona we did, and she was absolutely phenomenal. She was such a sweet person. Just really, really nice. She stood there and literally talked to her fans forever. The staff was getting upset. I mean, I don't know why, because they're just standing there doing nothing anyways. Because they're like, Fiona, you gotta, you know, quit you're being too involved. And she pretty much said, screw off. They're my fans. They're my family. So I can do what I want. So such a sweet lady. The whole cast of Scream was there, like I said. Jamie Kennedy as Randy Meeks. Nev Campbell as Sidney Prescott. Skeet Ulrich as Billy Loomis, and Matthew Lillard as Stu Macher. So we met all 4 of them. That's what we spent most of our time doing. We met Jamie and Skeet one day. amazing. Jamie, I have a 25th anniversary Ghostface mask that I had all 4 of them sign, and it's kind of funny because Nev kind of got upset because Jamie was the first one we met. So we got there Friday night and we met Rufus from House of a Thousand Corpse. We met Tom Savini, horror legend, and I had him sign a Night of the Living Dead poster. And we met Bill Moseley Friday night. My mind was just blown. I'm still kind of like, feel like I'm in heaven from that experience. And I'll tell you what, Bill Moseley, meeting him in person is nothing like I expected. Like, I mean, I have expected because I have seen a bunch of interviews and stuff with him. But just knowing that this guy is the same guy that plays Otis, you know, the boogeyman from House of a Thousand Corpse, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell, and Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, you know, burn her like a rat, burn her like a rat, burn her like a rat, burn her like a rat. And he was just the most soft-spoken, nicest, mellowest dude you'll ever meet in your life. So actually, when you go to these conventions, you have to pay for the photo, you have to pay for the autograph, per autograph. So we met him, he signed a couple things, he actually signed a poster that I have, Devil's Rejects. It's about an 18-inch high poster, I think it's like 18 by 12 or something like that. And it had Captain Spaulding, Baby, and Otis walking. You probably know, like, one of the, you know, most historical posters of Devil's Rejects. But then it had a picture of Sid Haig above the 3 of them, like almost like he's looking down on them. So I snagged that and had him sign that. And he's like, man, this is awesome. I love this. Sid was a great dude. And unfortunately, I never got to meet him, but rest in peace, Sid Haig. You are an awesome dude. I watched a lot of your interviews and everything, and I just wish I could have met you before you passed. But anyway, so he signed that, and I stood there, and he's like, oh, did you want a picture too? And I said, well, yeah, I forgot. I was like, how much is it? $60? And I went to get my wallet, or the money from Cheyenne, actually, because she was holding my wallet. And he said, you know what? Fuck that. You got good taste. You chose a Sid Haig poster. Get up here and give me that poster to hold for the picture. And, you know, he held the poster, and Cheyenne and I put our arms around him, and we took a couple pictures with him. Just such a great dude. Then we met Jamie Kennedy, and he signed the mask first, and he said, anywhere you want me to sign it in particular, bro? And I was like, no, you know, you're the first guy that signed it, so you can choose where you want to sign it, Jamie. And he signed it in the mouth, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, that is normally where Nev Campbell signs her Ghostface masks, but it's all right. So then we go to Skeet, and he just signs it, and then we have him sign a picture of him holding the Buck 120 to his teeth from the final chapter in Scream 1996. And then, of course, I had him write We All Go a Little Mad Sometimes and sign it Skeet Ulrich, Billy. Then we met Nev the last day. We stood in line for 9.5 hours with this awesome couple that we met. We were kind of line buddies all day. And we kept the mask to Nev, and she goes, oh, that little whatever, that little something took my spot. And I was like, I know you normally sign in the mouth. She's like, oh, it's okay, you know, but it was just kind of funny because she's like, oh, Jamie took my spot, you know, because she normally signs in the mouth, but it doesn't matter. She still signed it. It was awesome. And then, like I said, they were trying to cap the lines and send people home, and they actually did. They sent a lot of people home, and we almost didn't get to meet Matthew Lillard, but I was not leaving that building until I met Matthew Lillard. So they shut the building down, but there were still some people in line. And I told my wife and Brett and Bradley, our 2 buddies that went with us, I said, guys, go up to the top of the stairs. I said, I'm going to go down here, and then I'm going to call you in a couple minutes and tell you that we got in line. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever. You're going to end up going out of here in handcuffs is what's going to happen. Well, sure enough, I go down there, I talk to the right people, and then I call her and I say, hey, bring that couple $100. Let's get in line. We're meeting Matthew Lillard tonight. So thank God I did that, because I literally almost left the convention without meeting him, and that was the best experience ever. He was so cool. He literally, like I said, treats his fans like his family. So, you know, we're going zigzagging through the line, and he's taking his time talking to everybody, and then finally we get up. And he grabs Cheyenne and pulls her in, and he's like literally hugging her, rubbing her arms, whispering in her ear. He has his face on her face, and she's, you know, smiling ear to ear. I'm sure she wasn't facing me though, but I know she was. And he's just kind of looking at me like, oh, she's mine now. And then I just started laughing, and he's like, no, I'm just kidding. Come here, handsome. And he grabs me and jerks me in for a big old hug. And I was wearing a Stu Macher shirt that said, I'll be right back. And it had a picture of Stu with the gun from the first movie. and we had him sign a picture and let him pick a quote, and the quote that he chose was "Live her alone," and then he signed it, and he blacked one of his teeth out in the picture that he signed. He's super funny in real life, and as I said, he was kind of tipsy. He was drinking a little bit throughout the day, you could tell, and when we went to leave, he grabbed me and pulled me back and turned me around and signed the back of my shirt for free. So we got a few autographs from him and a lot of pictures, because he was really cool about the pictures, making sure that the picture was right, retaking pictures. They did a few pictures. We also got a group photo up with all 4 of them, so that was absolutely phenomenal. But so yeah. So after that, and I will say, oh yeah, Nev, she signed, I had her sign "Fuck you, you cretin," from the first time that Ghostface calls her, when she says that to him in that scene in her house where Ghostface contacts her over the phone for the first time. So that's the quote that I chose to have Nev sign on hers. But yeah, so they were all great. It was a fantastic experience. If you guys have never been to a horror convention, especially Texas Frightmare, you have to go. The one thing I will recommend though is VIP passes, and I don't really want to say this to everybody, but VIP passes are totally worth it. You get so many line skips. You have a pass on your lanyard, and when you want to skip a line and you don't want to wait 9 hours, you want to wait a few minutes, you can do that. So you get, I can't remember, maybe like 5 line skips or something, but it's so worth it because you also get early access, which makes it to where you don't hardly have to wait in line either. But when you do want to do a line skip and you're halfway through the day and you don't have the early access, it's like halfway through the day, there's a huge line. You go up to the front of the line, they rip this little piece off your lanyard, and then you get to skip the line. So you get early access into the building all 3 days. You get line skip, so the VIP pass is totally worth it if you're ever going to go to Texas Frightmare. We will be back next year for sure. A lot of cosplayers, was awesome. I was going to go this year. I was going to be Stu one day, Billy Loomis one day, and Negan from The Walking Dead one day, but I didn't do any of it because I didn't really know what to expect. I'd never been to one, but next year I'm doing it for sure. I cannot wait. All right. Enough about that. If anybody has any questions, maybe I'll do another video tomorrow showing everything that I actually got signed and pictures and everything like that on the video. But for now, if you have questions or anything, feel free to message me or just message down in the comments and I'll get back to everybody. But let's go ahead and rank these Ghostface real quick. So first, let's run through all the Ghostface that there's been. So Scream, the original, 1996. Billy Loomis and Stu Macher. Then he had Scream 2. Mrs. Loomis was Billy's mother, and Mickey, of course. Then Scream 3. Now I will say Scream 3, Roman Bridger. I'm not counting Angelina because a lot of people think that she was a killer, but it has never been, I don't want to say it's never been hinted at. I don't want to say it's never been pointed out, but it's never been confirmed. So I'm not ranking her as a Ghostface killer because I am 50-50 on that line. I'm literally right smack dab on the fence. I don't know. I'm not leaning towards one way or other that Angelina was helping Roman or not. I definitely think she could have been, but then again, I'm not 100% on that she was. So then you go to 4, Jill and Charlie, and then of course the new one, 5, you have Richie and Amber, unfortunately. So, my personal ranking goes like this. Stu Macher is number 1. I understand Billy Loomis was more of the brains and everything in the operation, but Stu Macher was just awesome. He had some good kills. He was hilarious the whole way through the movie. And I say Billy was the brains, but really, if you go in order, Roman was really the brains the whole time. I mean, if that's really the way that it played out. So, Stu Macher is my all-time favorite Ghostface. Then it goes Billy Loomis. Billy Loomis was just phenomenal. And Stu and Billy, seriously, Scream 1996, those two are obviously going to be my favorites. Their quotes were the best. I'll be right back, Live her alone. Then, of course, Billy, we all go a little mad sometimes. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative. There's just so much cool shit from that first movie. And that first movie literally has been my life. I watched that movie for the first time when I was 7 years old at my aunt and uncle's house. I would act like I was sleeping under the covers because they would watch it a lot, and I would stay up and watch the whole movie through a little crack in the covers like this because I lived for Scream. Ghostface was my hero growing up. That sounds demonic and sick, but Ghostface was my hero growing up, and Stu Macher and Billy Loomis were my heroes growing up. Absolutely loved them. That's why in the new movie, Scream 2022, when they're in the Meeks household and Mandy is talking about that, you know, somebody in the room says, oh, well, they're just movies. And she said, no, maybe to you. But the original is everything. The original is their whole life. And God forbid anybody who fucked with that memory. That was me. Like Scream 1996, Wes Craven, rest in peace. You made a fucking masterpiece. That movie is my whole life. Love it more than anything. So obviously those two are my favorites. After that, my next favorite killer is Mickey from Scream 2. Mickey was he was awesome. He was funny, and he did phenomenal playing that character. I loved those lines at the end, you know, the kind of guy you'd take home to a mother if you had a mom, Sid. Like, he just had so many badass lines. Then after Mickey, number 4, and this ranking really, she would have been, if I'd have done this 6 months ago, this number 4 would have probably been down to number 6 or 7. But she's really grown on me. Every time I go back and watch Scream 4, Jill is my number 4 pick. She's my 4th favorite. Jill is really growing on me. She is just so cold-hearted and brutal. The way she beat the shit out of herself at the end, turned on Charlie like it was nothing. She even said, I even had to kill my own mother. No big loss there. I mean, just so cold-hearted and badass. She was just so brutal. That's one bad bitch. I didn't care for her in the beginning, but she's really grown on me. So she ranks in at number 4. Number 5 is Richie from Scream 2022, the new one. I think Richie was awesome from before we knew it was Ghostface. And then the whole time I was like, man, I don't think Richie's Ghostface. You know, I was like, is this a red herring? Is he Ghostface? Because in the first one, you know, it's the whole movie, you're like, oh, it's Billy. And then you're like, no, it's not Billy because it's too obvious it's Billy. But then Wes is like, no, screw that. You don't think it's Billy because it's too obvious that it is Billy, so it is going to be Billy. You know, that Scream 1996, you're just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you find out it was him. So I'm like, yeah, Richie's definitely not. And then just the way that when Ghostface came out of the closet in the new one, and he just said, oh my God, it's Ghostface. Like, that was, I died laughing so hard. I almost died laughing so hard at that point, and I almost died crying with Dewey's death scene. But like I said, that's a whole nother video I will be making probably this week or so about Stu Macher is the one that killed Dewey. And you will hear me say that a million times because it is the truth. Mark my words, you will see. Because Matthew Lillard pulled Cheyenne and I back when he signed my shirt for free and whispered that in our ears. And, you know, that just put the rest of the icing on the cake and finished my theory for me. So I swear, Stu Macher killed Dewey, and he has been running the show the whole time. You will see, I promise. But after Richie, number 6 is Roman. And Roman, honestly, if we're going with Angelina not being an accomplice, Roman should probably be higher because he did all that killing and all that work by himself. And not only did he do all of that by himself, all these chain of events he set up until this point. And then he finally said, screw this, I gotta do it myself because nobody else is getting the job done. He couldn't either, but he came close and he did it all by himself, so he deserves that respect. So Roman Bridger at number 6. After here, I'm kind of wishy-washy, but number 7's probably Charlie, and I just rank him higher than Mrs. Loomis and Amber because he had some awesome kills. When he gutted her, you know, when Jill and Kirby were in the house here and she was in the house here, and he literally just threw her all over that room. And then when Sydney runs in there, he's gone, he's hiding somewhere, and he completely gutted her. He threw her out the window, hauled the knife up, ripped her back, gutted her. It was just, he had some great brutal kills. And the way that he was in love with Kirby, and she unties him from the chair, and he just boom, sticks her right in the stomach. He was pretty brutal, and I did not expect that from him. I will say that shocked me in that movie. I did not expect that from the character of Charlie at all, to be that badass, and he was. So that is why he is at number 7. Number 8, Mrs. Loomis. I don't really have a lot to say about Mrs. Loomis. Debbie Salt wasn't in much of the movie. You know, just some scenes here, some scenes there. Being first on the spot, you know, like, oh, Gail, you're just now getting here? Kind of should have threw some red flags there for me, but it really didn't. But yeah, Mrs. Loomis is alright, but I rank her above number 9 because number 9, Amber, get the hell out of here. I can't stand Amber. I didn't like her. I'll tell you what, I wasn't sure she was Ghostface. I honestly was probably 40%, 60% sure that she wasn't Ghostface, and I hated her the whole way through the movie until we found out she was Ghostface. Then I couldn't stand her even more because I was like, gosh dang it, really? She's Ghostface? You gotta be kidding me. And it was just, and then she takes credit for killing Dewey, which you did not do, Amber. So I understand why you took credit for it, because Stu doesn't want anybody knowing that he's around right now. And I get that, so I understand why it played out the way it did, but I just couldn't stand Amber. I felt like in the end she was trying too hard to be that Stu Mocker role with her and Richie, kind of like Stu and Billy. And I just wasn't invested in her character at all the whole way through the movie. So, but sorry about that. So yeah, that's my ranking on the Ghost Faces, number 1 to 9, not including Angelina, because like I say, I'm not sold that she was a ghost face or an accomplice, but I'm not sold that she wasn't either. So it could be either way. But all right guys, I gotta go get ready. We're gonna go out paranormal investigating tonight, but I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Please stay tuned. Much more to come. I promise everything's gonna get more fluent and better. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll do it again soon.